If you look at something like CrossFit, CrossFit has brought many positives to the training world. The first being the democratization or the increase in popularity of the snatch, the clean and jerk, the squat, the deadlift. When you go to a CrossFit gym, when someone does a light workout, he's doing back squats or deadlifts. So just that alone makes it awesome. The training might not be optimal or even that smart for most people, but just the fact that they taught people to not be afraid of the big basic lift, to me, is worth a lot in my book. The second thing it brought to the table is it taught people what it really is to train really hard. When you walk in most commercial gyms, you will see very few people actually training hard enough to elicit significant gains past the beginner stage. So the fact that CrossFit showed them what it is to train all out is something positive, because it counterbalances the fact that when people go in gym, they see most people more interested in talking about their weekend than actually training hard. So that is a good thing. But it comes with its downside. The fact that people now think that you need to train in beast mode all the time to get maximum gains. And the fact is that that extra 10% or 5% in effort might push you over the edge. I mean, that is testing. A CrossFit WOD where you go all out. Or you go to a 1 RM on a bench press or in a squat and training. Or you hit failure on a big basic lift. These things in my book are testing. And testing is not something you do on a weekly basis in a gym, unless you are free, you can recover from that very easily. Now, training is simply program stress on the body to elicit a positive change that will lead to an increase in performance. And if you are working to the point of testing yourself, testing being you go to the maximum you can do for that specific parameter, okay? Achieving failure on a big lift is testing, because it's to see how many reps you can achieve with that weight. Working up to a 1 RM is testing. Doing a WOD as hard as you can is testing, okay? If you do that all the time, you'll just drain your neurological resources. Muscles recover really, really fast. The nervous system, specifically neurotransmitter levels, adrenal receptor sensitivity, or staying in that sympathetic state all the time, because when you test yourself in a gym, you will stay in that fight or flight mode for hours after your session, which can lead to a sympathetic overactivation, increasing cortisol production, depleting dopamine, desensitizing the adrenal receptors. In the long run, it will do more harm than good. I will tell you a story. A few years back, I wanted to get back into Olympic weightlifting. Now, I will confess that for the 4 years prior to that, I had been doing mostly bro workouts. I mean, barely training legs at all. Give me some slack, right? Before that, I had trained and competed in Olympic weightlifting for 7 years. And prior to that, I had been training for football for 9 years. And even when I was playing football, I was squatting 3 days a week. When I was competing for Olympic weightlifting, 6 days a week, sometimes twice a day. I had done enough squatting for 3 lifetimes. So I decided, well, I just want to look good naked. Even if I don't train legs, they remain fairly decent. But when I decided to get back to Olympic weightlifting, I found that my leg strength was way below par, and that affected my lifting. So I said, I'm going to regain my leg strength. So I designed a workout for myself. It's a complex. I love complexes. So I did back squats, but I had like 160 kilos on the bar, so like 350, but I had 100 pounds of chains. And I had weight releasers with 100 pounds more. So I was lowering the first rep with over 500 pounds at the top. Then the weight releaser would on the hook, and I would lift anywhere between 360 and 460 at the top. So I would do 1 rep with the weight releaser, then 3 regular reps. Then I would move on to barbell jump squats. So 135 pounds, jumping 5 times as high as I could. Then I would move on to the box and do 5 depth jumps. And I did that complex 10 times. Dude, awesome workout. My leg strength is going to be right back up where it was in a few weeks. I'm going to kick ass. My snatch is going to be awesome, which is kind of a weird thing to say when you're a guy. Anyway, I was actually so sore the next day, I was incapable of going down lower than a quarter squat because I had like shooting pain, like 2 knife wounds in my vastus lateralis. It took me 14 days to be able to do a full squat with body weight only. 21 days until I could squat what I was squatting before that workout. Was that a good investment? Hell no. When I was doing it, it felt awesome, but it was really a test. And that test affected my workouts for 3 weeks. That's an extreme case. It won't always happen to you. But the fact is that if you constantly test yourself in the gym, you will have recovery issues depending on how fragile your nervous system is, which will negatively impact performance and will give you less gains over the long run. It's important to train hard. It is the most important thing to do. But that does not mean you reach the point where you are testing yourself on a weekly basis, much less on a daily basis in the gym. Invest your efforts properly.